So question, can you find a good wife? Everybody says that you can find a good wife at the church, right? Church social, all the things. This is where they say you can find a good wife. But can you find a good wife or a husband at a club?
I think
Yeah.
you
We all
can find a
know
good
the
wife
bi-
anywhere.
Yeah, okay.
Because technically, if you think about it, you can find bad wives at the church.
Amen.
That's what
You
I was
sure
thinking.
right. Were you thinking that?
Yeah.
So how much so? So y'all heard the conversation of you. What did you say earlier, Bo? You can't what?
Turn
Blah blah into a housewife.
yeah.
Same thing for a husband, right?
Right.
Okay. So you're saying that that's not true.
Yeah, I'm saying that it's possible to find a husband or a wife anywhere.
Okay. So if we're going by church folks and if we're going by all of that, then you're not even supposed to be in the club anyway. So why y'all looking for a housewife in the club or a husband in the club? Let's talk about it.
Right.
Okay, let's go.
I don't think we looking.
Yeah, I don't think
I
don't
would
think I'm
never
going
look
there to
in the club.
Yeah.
For,
Right.
I wouldn't. I would never look.
So where would you look for a wife?
I mean, I feel like you just.
It just happens.
Like,
You just stumbled upon them.
It's a connection, like just something you feel like you see somebody and maybe y'all having a good conversation, and it was never intended to be more than just a conversation. But then you see that y'all have more in common than what you thought, and then you take it from where you met to somewhere else, and then an organic relationship can form.
Okay. So let's just talk about all of it then. Because like Cam was saying, when was the last time you been to a club? And I told y'all I'm 48 years old. I was at the club one time and that was years and years and years ago, right? So I don't do the club scene, whatever the case may be. And so what I'm thinking may be totally different than what you guys see and what's in the club.
Right.
I'm thinking people in the club, tight, skimpy, rainbow dresses, them little dresses from Rainbow, whatever the case may be, I don't know. But if you go to a club and you find a lady, you get to having conversations with her, then all of a sudden this lady becomes your wife. How is that and what does that look like? Anthony, you have good questions and different things like that. So tell me, if they say you can find a wife at a church, why are we looking in the club? And then Bo says that we don't go to a club looking for a wife.
No, we don't go looking. Like Cam said, I ain't going to the club to see if I can find a wife.
Right.
First, I might go to the club to enjoy myself. And then I might go to the club to have fun tonight. Every intention that I have is probably not going to manifest itself into the truth.
Right.
But it's an opinion in my head where I start from.
Okay.
So never.
Question. If you went to a club and you went home with a lady, or ladies went home with the man, y'all had sex on the first day that y'all met, would you have respect for this person? Would she be somebody that you want to even see the next day or have a continual relationship with?
Depends.
To build.
It depends.
On what?
What it depends on for me is that are you having, like, we enjoying ourselves or whatever, and one thing happens to another, and then like we have sex, like if we drunk and we just drunk out of there and we have sex. Now, if we go to the club, I see you there, we're having a good time, we vibing, the music going, we may have had a few drinks or whatever, but we made a conscious decision that, you know what, I enjoy your company. And you might have came to my house and the intention was maybe not to have sex, but then we did. Sometimes people, say we went to the club and we got drunk. Say you want to talk more. You might come to my house and I'll put the coffee on. And we sober up and we talk. And then whatever. But have I went to the club and had sex on the first day? Of course I have. But just because I did that, that didn't mean I didn't want to see you the next day.
Really?
No. I have, I've been around for a while. I'm 43 years old. I'm speaking from a more seasoned, individual. I've came into contact with people at the club that we've had genuine relationships with that I've never had sex with.
Okay.
And then I've been to the club to people that I had sex with the same night. And the night after. And then the night after.
Okay.
And then it was formed, a connection was formed from that, not based off the sex, but based off how good our chemistry was with each other.
I got you. Okay. So Anthony, we know you married. Oh, just hypothetically speaking, if you did go to a club and you find yourself having relations with a lady the first day that you met her, what happens after that?
So that's one of those things that's like it's dependent on the person.
Okay.
Some, because there's that double standard. Some dudes will be like, "Oh, I mess with her, she easy, you know.
Right,
I don't want nothing to do." But then, I mean, you did the same thing, boy.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I'm saying?
sure, for
So like,
sure.
are you easy too then?
Yeah.
But for me, nah. It's like if it went that far, I want to see you again. You know,
Got you.
if it went to that point, because I'm not finna just mess around with nobody. I'm not there to just mess around with somebody that
Right.
I'm not gonna see again. Like if it gets to that point, you know, I like you like that.
I got you.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Cam, what about you?
I feel like I would piggyback off Bo. I think it just depends on the chemistry.
Yeah.
Because like I've never been into like going into the club looking for that stuff.
Yeah.
And then some things just happen. And then but like it really just depends on like the whole next day, in my opinion. Because like there's some times where you just, oh, okay, see you later, never talk again. And then there's other times where you're like, I've, caught myself like, hey, you make it home safe type, stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So it just depends.
I got
for
you.
real.
So it's okay to have sex on the first date.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Because if you make a conscious decision, like I feel like I don't look down on a woman if she have sex with me on the first day.
I got
Maybe
you.
because you wanted to. I wanted to. We was grown.
Right,
And we
for sure.
both wanted to do it. So we did it.
I got you. Totally makes sense. It makes sense. I would never do it.
Right.
That's just not what I do or what I've ever done. But I understand. If she wanted to, you wanted to, what's wrong with that? So if you get mad at this girl, I mean, do you call her name? Do you tell other guys that she's easy? Different things like that?
I never call a woman out of their name.
Okay.
I don't. My thing, even about anger, right? I have to care about your opinion to be mad at you.
Right.
You can sit over there and talk about me all day long, but if I don't care about what you're saying, I'm like, are you done?
I got you. It makes I totally
have to
get
care
it.
enough about your opinion to be upset with what it is that you're saying.
Makes sense. But why is there such a double standard when it comes to sex on a first date, sex on a first night between men and women? Like Anthony was saying, there is a double standard. But
Yes.
why is there a double standard? If I wanted to do it and you wanted to do it, why am I called out names and you are not? But we wanted to do this. We both are grown and we both wanted to. So why am I getting all the bad heat behind having sex with somebody on the first date?
The double standard that exists is this. As a man, when we talking about sexual, I am a giver. I am giving I'm inside you. I'm giving you me. You're receiving me. Some people may say that's the difference between what's the word I would say? I don't want to say whore, People say whore,
Is it Jezebel?
The difference between being a Jezebel and a Jezebel maker. I've heard that. You know what I'm saying?
I've never heard that one. That's dope.
Because I saw on this show, this woman, this man had a show. And he asked a woman. He's like, you have sex with so many people and this or whatever. She said, I have that sex with people everybody thought I had sex with. She said, so am I a Jezebel for having sex with a lot of people? And if I am, what are you for having sex with a lot of people? He said, you're Jezebel and I'm a Jezebel maker. So I'm making you
Yeah.
and you're taking me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Giving receivers. Because if I'm doing it to you all day, which like I said, I don't believe in the double standard, but if you're doing it with multiple people all the time, it's scientifically proven that man's specimen stays with you. It now enters into your DNA. You may have kids with somebody else, and that specimen is still existing inside of you.
So you're right. Okay, so I understand. So this is why we talk about those those what we call that whenever you have or sex with a person. Oh my gosh, I know it's right here at the tip of my tongue. It's we call it that stronghold.
Yeah,
or
strongholds,
yes,
soul ties, and
those
stuff like
soul
that.
ties and different things like that. So on our last one, there were so many comments on soul ties and different things like that. And I totally understand that. I do. And there were so many guys in the comment, talking about it's scientifically proven, it's this, is that, and I understand that, and I do, and I get it. But the thing about it is, if she don't care
Mhm.
and you don't care,
Right.
why is Betty being called every name but a child of God? But Bo, let me change that.
Yeah.
But Billy Bob is called, oh man, you got that, dude? You what? You're a hero.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me because we have two adults that has consented to having this.
Mhm.
We all know this, but yet and still, it's all of these things. There's so much of a double standard to it makes nobody sense. But yet and still, y'all are held to the same standard as we are. We are. So I still don't make me understand why I'm a Jezebel and you're a Jezebel maker and everybody is cool with that, but they're not cool with the Jezebel. But we both made a decision to do it.
First, I don't want to say that I feel like this generation or people they so sensitive, because that's not what I mean. What I mean is that we start caring what everybody thinks.
Sure.
But when I said earlier that I have to care enough about your opinion to be mad at you, I don't care what they said. You could talk about me all day long. If I don't care what you said, you Charlie Brown to me. It's just a womp. I have to care enough about your opinion to even consider what you're thinking.
I got you.
So the world gonna talk.
Yeah.
But if I ain't listening to the world, if I'm listening to you, if I'm listening to my girl and folks is like, oh, she got this in her past, and she got that in her past. Okay, I got this in my past, I got that in my past too. We ain't got to deal with the world. We dealing with each other. So stop listening to what everybody else saying. They not in our relationship. It's me and you.
Gotcha.
And if you're affected by what everyone else is saying about your relationship, maybe you should be in a relationship with them then.
I got you. Makes sense. What about you, Anthony?
I like that.
All right.
I don't know why the double standard exists. I don't know. I ain't researched it. You could say it's probably because it's a man's world.
Yeah.
For a long time, men made all the decisions, so to keep the women down, whatever.
Right.
You could say that, but for me, I don't like the double standard.
Yeah.
But there's double standards on both sides.
That's true.
And there's some that women say men, whatever. There's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
And we're really not gonna get rid of them.
No,
we're just gonna have to learn to adapt and push past because there's exceptions to all the rules.
This is true. I totally agree. What about you, Kim?
Yeah, there is a double standard. I think it's more of like just because, in my opinion, for men, it's harder to go and sleep with someone. But as for a woman, all you have to do is call up a dude and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying?
The access.
Yeah, and then it's just like, but for a guy, it's like if you trying to get to that, then you have to maneuver, you have to work for it, stuff like that. So I feel like that's where the double standard comes from. And as I've gotten older, yes, when I was younger, I understood the double standard. I'm like, yeah, no. But like as I've gotten older, and like the stuff from my past, if someone was to double standard me about that, then I'd be like, why? You know what I'm saying? So why would I, chew out somebody because of their past?
Right.
It's the present, and we moving forward.
I got you. Makes sense. It's just, I was just thinking, I was just like, hey, you know what? Can you go to a club and can you get the Jezebel and make the Jezebel a wife, or the Jezebel maker? Can you make him a husband? When this is what we do and this is how we do it, can we, can we put aside all the things that we've done in our past and be married to a Jezebel maker, or be married to a Jezebel, or whatever the case may be, and do what we need to do? So that's why I was like, can we do this? Is that society tells us, well, we can and we cannot? You know what I'm saying? Because no joke, some of these people out here that talk so loudly about their opinion, they need to stop.
Yeah, they're the most insecure people in the world sometimes.
Not only that, but what was going on back in the day with your stuff? You know what I'm saying? Because you just never know. Because as I've gotten older and listened to a lot of things that's been going on in our past, as far as like great aunts and all of these kids and different things like this, and baby, you have all these kids out here. You got a dark skin right here, a light skin right here, another dark one. They all have different daddies. But then you over here with your opinions and trying to tell me and everybody else what they can and cannot do, what they should and shouldn't do. But yet and still, you got all these uncles and aunts that look different. Somebody looking like the milkman baby. Somebody looking like the extra daddy. Somebody over here looking like an uncle.
Right.
So you have all of these things going on, but then you trying to tell me what is and what ain't. That old song, you need to sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. So I think that sometimes it's in our best interest to kind of look at what we got going over here before we pass judgment to somebody else. If you are grown and this is something that you want to do, that's on you.
Right.
Just because I will never doesn't mean that Lil Sally won't. Lil Sally will do whatever Lil Sally want to do, and they ain't got no problem with Lil Sally because Lil Sally ain't got nothing over here with me.
Right.
So if Lil Sally and Lil Bob want to do this on the first date, let Lil Sally and Lil Bob be alone. Especially Lil Sally, because Lil Bob is a hero, where Lil Sally is Jezebel. And we need to stop doing that. I don't like that.
But you know what? And I agree with what you're saying is, I don't know why this is the way it is, but tell me if this holds any merit. People don't normally, like, I don't know women who want a man that other women don't want. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
I know people, okay, we're going to go to example. I'm going to use myself as an example just for a second. So I was told, like, a lady came up to me and she was like, hey, you're nice or whatever like that. I know you got women. I know you got this and that. And in my mind, I was like, I don't have any women. But they like, because you look this way or you do this or you do that, then I know you lying to me.
Right.
And I'm like, most people, or sometimes when I've tried to get in a relationship with an individual, they think that I have all of these women when in actuality, I don't.
I got you.
And it's just a presence. You know what I'm saying? And I think with men, they're looking for the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, a man might be looking for a woman that it seems like that other people are looking over her, maybe because either she stays by herself or she intimidates other men by her presence. The room get real quiet when a real man or a real woman enters the room in a room full of kids. You ever notice that?
Yeah, for sure.
They'll be quiet and everybody just stop and they start looking because they want to know what these leaders have to say. And that's just the way it is. A lady told me today, and I said this, I said, she was asking about different women and stuff wherever I work at. I was like, look at me as if I'm a giraffe. And look at the people who are talking as if they're ants. I said, giraffes eat on the top of the tree. I don't concern myself with pebbles on the ground. So I do not even care what y'all saying.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I don't think I'm better than you. But if I'm a giraffe and you're an ant, I got to look down to acknowledge you.
I understand.
Talk.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Already.
Hey. I feel that in my shana now, okay?
Wait a minute. That wasn't me, Jesus.
I totally
Good
understand.
saying.
So I just, like I said, we're not going to be in here very long. It's just, it baffles me that we get so many things conflicted, and it's always the bad girl. She's a bad girl. She gets the name. She does all the things. And honestly, the bad girl is just being the bad girl. She does what she wants to do. She's doing all the things that she wants to do. But why is she so bad when y'all doing the same thing?
Right.
So it's just one of those double standards for me that's really crazy, but yet and still, she's just a human just like you are. But she's so confident in what she wants to do, and she's okay with that, to where we want to give her a name. She has to be Jezebel. But then y'all are okay with being Jezebel makers, which isn't a fair situation. But the thing about it is, those girls, honestly, just because they want what they want doesn't mean that they can't be good wives
No.
or good people or somebody to have in a good relationship.
Right.
So honestly, it's going to take somebody to, not going to take somebody to calm her down, because she can calm when she wants to. It's just that she's doing what she wants to do. And I just think that the double standard is so crazy to me, and how people want to call out everybody a name when she's doing the very same thing that you're doing. And I understand. And if you find solace in that, and if you okay with that, then whatever. Because if that's the case, then we're both the same thing. We were both Jezebels out here in these streets, and we could do whatever. So that was just me. I'm just like, so how does that work? And can she be a good housewife for you? And yes, she probably can. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're just being honest with you, we're taking a chance on the Jezebel makers too.
Right.
As women, we take a chance on the Jezebel maker too. So it's just all out here. We have to look at both sides of that, because sometimes as a woman dealing with a Jezebel maker, sometimes you have the same concerns.
Right.
Because just because you're with me now, everybody that you've slept with, I'm sleeping with as well. And it's the same way for the lady, if you want to take it back to that, like they were saying, with the soul ties and all of the things. And I understand that. So I get it, but it's the same to me. And I could be totally wrong, because if the Jezebel making has slept with 15 women, then I've slept with those 15 women as well.
Sort of, to me, that's the part that's different. Because let's look at it. Let's look at it like this: if you're going to the bank and you're depositing $10,000 into the bank, then now you have $10,000 inside of your bank account, right? So if you're going to the bank to withdraw $10,000, once you withdraw it from your bank, it's no longer in your bank.
So you're telling
and you
me
don't have it.
I understand. So you're telling me the same
Givers and receivers.
The same thing when I received does not mean, that means that what I received didn't come with a receipt from the last withdrawal.
I'm saying, to my understanding, I completely wrong. As a man, and I'm making a man that's making deposits into multiple women, I'm leaving a part of me in them.
Okay.
There, you don't have, as a woman, you don't have nothing to leave with me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If we're talking about givers and receivers.
Okay.
If you are a giver, then you giving somebody something. If I'm a mailman, I'm dropping stuff off at your house. I don't come and pick it up. If I want something
Sometimes
gone,
you do.
if I want it gone, I go to the post office and drop it off, or at a drop box.
I got you.
You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
It makes
You know
sense.
what I'm saying?
It makes sense.
But it's still a double standard. But I think, like, if we're talking spiritually, we're talking about connections, and we're talking about all of that. As a giver, a receiver's role is different.
I got you.
And it doesn't hold the same merit, because that's one of those things that it just is what it is. When men and women are when they're made completely different and they're wired completely differently, you have to think that there's a difference there. If we are wired different, then something from a man and then something from a woman makes us different besides our sexual organs. The way we intake things, the way we deliver things, how they always talk about how men, you hear a lot of standards that men are more logical and women are more emotional. That's because of a dominant and a receptive, not a gene, but I don't know exactly what you would call it.
I understand.
You know
what
what
you're
I'm saying?
saying?
And some things, it just is what it is, because that's how it was made. That's how it was.
I got you. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So can you turn a Jezebel into a housewife? Yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think both ways, because for a man and for a woman, the right man or the right woman can make you switch up.
Yeah, the right person. It just takes the right person.
It does. Like that lady said on TikTok, clock it. Okay, you're absolutely right. It takes the right person. Absolutely.
Right.
Because if you are not the right one for me, I'm gonna continue to do what I want to do as a grown woman. and can continue to do all of that. You can't tell me nothing. And don't be calling me out my name because you feel like this is who I am, but you're doing the same thing I am. Go on about your business. So it takes the right one to handle the right person at the right time. I totally agree with that. So anybody have any last words? Yes, sir.
Just one example, though.
Uh-huh.
A personal example for us that we can speak on.
Okay.
My mom and my dad, you know, when teenagers or whatever like that, I remember my uncles telling me when my dad met my mama, he cut a lot of stuff out.
Yeah.
He changed.
Right.
Because he decided that's the woman that he wanted to be with. He stopped doing this and he stopped doing it, you know, regardless of whatever. They said he made a change because the right woman for the right man makes a world of difference and vice versa.
That's true. I totally agree with you on that. And that's even in like, you know, relationships, marriages, all of the things. So you're absolutely right. So no matter who she is, no matter what she does, the right person can change he or she. And I totally agree with that. I really do. Anybody else have anything else they would like to say?
I'll say that yes, the right man and the right woman will make you change, but it's still up to you to work on yourself before you even get into that relationship, before you meet that person, because sometimes you might not be at a level where you can even understand what they're trying to give you.
Right.
Like, cause like they'll say right person, wrong time. Sometimes it's because you haven't worked on yourself enough to get to that level, to be able to receive what they trying to even fathom and understand what they're, you know, the level that they on. So work on yourself and, you know, do the best you can to understand and, you know, break down the trauma and the experiences that you've already gone through. So you don't bring that into your next relationship and ruin a good thing.
That's true. I totally agree. So one last question. This just popped into my head. So if, say for instance, you know how we were like taught and we were raised that we're not supposed to have premarital sex, right? Everybody's supposed to have sex when you're married, all of the things. What if you marry someone that you are physically, like, you're attracted to because they look really nice to you, they're really good, and you love this person, but you've never had relations with this person, and once you do, it's like, Lord have mercy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What?
That's a good one. That's a whole episode.
It is.
I'm gonna tell you what I do. I would never know because before I married you, I'm going to test
the waters.
And then God, please
gonna have to forgive
me.
you.
Yeah, because I'm gonna need to know.
What about this person that will not do it until they are married?
Well, what about that person marrying someone else? I'm just saying. I mean, because we're coming to a whole agreement with each other, and I understand maybe you don't want to have sex until you are married or whatever.
Yeah.
So would you rather not have sex until you married and then it end up being whack?
Yeah.
Because if it is, for me, I need a divorce.
See,
now.
that's really good because there's two sides to it, right?
Right.
If there's two people that waited, they'll never know.
They don't never know.
They don't have anything to compare it to.
Yeah, that's right. They
don't have nothing to compare it to. But as soon as you mix in somebody that does have experience, there's this there's this rift because like this person is expecting something that they know is out there, while this other person is like, bruh, like, I mean, I'm just giving the best I know how. So it's like, how do you
you have double lessons?
But listen, even if this person that you, honestly, this probably is for another episode. This person that you are dealing with, right? Even if I've never had sex before in my life, me or the person that I'm getting ready to get married to, right? And then our first time to consummate our marriage, it's like, this ain't what I thought it was going to be. And regardless, and I continue to have relations with this person. Number one, you know as a girl, if you're not being satisfied. Right? So what if I'm still not being satisfied even after we are married? What you're doing, because what you're doing is not pleasing to thee, as I always say. It's not pleasing to me. I'm not getting anything, and then you're out here, you're okay, and then you want to go to sleep, but I'm still like, I don't even know what this is. I don't even know what this is supposed to feel like, because it don't feel like nothing to me. So then what do we do with that situation? Do we want a divorce, or
Not
do we
immediately.
what do we do with that? This honestly is probably for another
A whole
episode.
another.
Yeah.
For sure.
This is probably for a whole nother episode. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about this one
Yeah.
a little bit later.
Right, for
But
sure.
this was a mini this was a mini episode that we just kind of came out with. Honestly, it's just one of those little things that just kind of popped in our brain and we were just talking about. So we hopefully you enjoyed our mini podcast on today. And if you did, please hit that thumbs up, like it, subscribe, tell everybody you know. We're really trying to grow our family on this side of the hill. And until the next time, guys, peace.